Okay, you guys can turn to chapter 15. We are going to go over our last math chapter, and we're actually going to only go over a few parts of it because I think a lot of this stuff in here is way overkill for what you need to know as a pharmacy technician, and just way overkill. So let's kind of go through here. I do want to talk about overhead expenses, or actually let's go over the vocabulary because the thing online kind of has some weird vocabulary. So make sure you pay the section that's called pricing online. Please make sure that you pay close attention to that. And I know that I haven't been reminding you guys to do your online stuff, but make sure you got to get that done. It won't let you take the test if you don't do that. So make sure you get all of the online sections done. It'll be a good review anyways. We've been doing this a long time, and so we have forgotten how to do some of the stuff that we learned in the beginning. Okay. Good. Okay, let's look at the keywords on page 603. So average wholesale price, it says this is a price that a pharmacy theoretically pays for its meds. Sometimes it's theoretical because they may have discount sales, etc. Capitation fee. This is a set amount of a third-party money paid monthly to the pharmacy for a specific patient. So if they have an insurance, let's say their insurance tells a pharmacy, okay, you know, we're going to pay you $250 a month, whether they buy 1 prescription or 10 prescriptions. They're only going to pay him X amount. That's what that's saying. Cash flow is just the rate of receipts and expenses, just as it goes through. You know, you add up your profits, but you minus out your expenses, so forth. Daily cash or sales report is just a report made at the end of each day that summarizes your sales and everything that you've had going on. Depreciation, a decrease in value of an asset based on the asset. Just depends on what you're looking at, what you're using. We're not going to go over depreciation today. I feel like that's more of the. I mean, you guys are going to be doing a lot of the business end, but you're going to be doing more of the cashier end of it. You're not going to be like running the store. I mean, I'm not saying you would never do that, but at least entry level, I feel like that's what you would do. Okay, discounts or markdown, subtraction of a percentage amount. I do think that I've seen that on the test before, so you guys need to be prepared and know how to mark down something or mark up something. I've seen those on there. And then the gross margin, it says is the difference between the selling price and the purchase price. Gross profit has the difference in the purchase price and the markup. Inventory is the listing of the merchandise on hand. So, and you guys won't be in charge of inventory. That's a pretty basic pharmacy tech job. The way that this thing does inventory is the way that this book teaches it. It's kind of strange. You know, I feel like they make it a lot harder than what it needs to be. Probably for most of you guys, they're going to have a computer system that monitors inventory constantly and will constantly order meds when they're needed. A markup is the difference found when the wholesale price is subtracted from the resale price. So the price on the shelf minus the price that the store pays for it. Markup percentage, the calculation done by dividing the cost of the item into the difference between the selling price and the cost. So, and I think I've seen these questions on there. Let's say they say, okay, we get this for $10, a wholesale price, and we mark up all of our medications by 30%. Let's say 33. Well, we'll say 30%. So if they mark everything up by 30% and they want to know what the end cost of that medicine is going to be, well, if they paid $10 for it and they mark it at 30% of $10 is $3. So the price of the medication is going to be $13. That's pretty much, I don't know how to make that more simplified. Net income is the selling price minus the purchase price and the expenses. Overhead is the expenses of running the business, not including the inventory. So when we talk about overhead expenses, that's like light bill, water bill, employee pay, all that kind of stuff. Par level, it says this is a predetermined point for reordering inventory. And like I said, we're not going to go over that section here because it's kind of just really strange. But what they're talking about is like a level, like let's say you've got amoxicillin and you always keep 2,000 amoxicillin tablets in stock. So that would be your par level. If it dips down below that, you're going to want to reorder. Profit is the difference found when expenses are subtracted from income. Profit margin is the percentage found when you're doing that. And then the turnover rate is how the inventory is moving through the system. So we're just going to go over a few sections of this, and then I'm going to tell you exactly which ones I want you guys to do. And look at overhead expenses really quick. I wish this depreciation wasn't in here, wasn't in this section, but it is. It says in business, the receipts from sales must exceed the overhead for doing business. So they have to make enough money to be able to pay the bills, basically. So it's really the cost of just doing doing business. And so it says, and then the depreciation, it says, is just how things are devalued over time. So it's talking about depreciation is the cost divided by the time of use, depending on what it is. Okay, like 15.1, it says a pharmacy spends $12,585 for inventory for a week. The salaries for all their persons involved are $12,500. The rent is $1,600 per month, and the utilities cost $800 per month. In addition, the cost for insurance are $1,000 per month, and depreciation of equipment is $2,500 per month. Taxes are $2,500 per month. So what's the overhead for each week? And we know how expensive is it to run it for each week. So what they did was they took their inventory for a week, their salaries for a week, and then everything else is monthly, so they divided it by 4 weeks for each one for a month, and then that's how they figured out overhead. Okay. We can work out one of these so that at least you guys will have one kind of under your belt. Look at number 3. It says a pharmacist needs to know how much income each month is necessary to meet the overhead for the business he owns. The expenses are salaries of $72 per year. Write this down as we go. Okay. For the pharmacist, $27,500 for each of the pharmacy technicians. There's 2 of them. I think that's what it said. 2 pharmacy. $560,000 per year for inventory. $560,430 per year. $5,600 per year for rent and utilities. That's not a whole lot, is it? $27,500 per year for equipment replacement. And taxes and other expenses of $1,560 a month. That's what they gave us per month. Okay, so what would be the overhead for this pharmacy per month? I was trying to look up one thing. Okay, so we're trying to figure this out per month. So let's just leave this one off for now, and we'll add that back in a minute. The rest of these need to be divided by 12. So I'm just going to add them all up and then divide them by 12. So I think that'll make for a lot less time. My phone. We're going crazy. Turn it around. Oh. Maybe. Now let's try that again. Okay. Restart it here. So 72,000 plus 27,500 plus 27,500 plus 560,430 plus 5,600 plus 27,500 equals divided by 12. So that's 60,000 $1,544.17 plus this monthly expense, $1,560. So total we get $61,604.17. So that's their monthly overhead. Monthly overhead. Excuse me. Good, I got it right. And so let's do that times 12. 737,000, oh my goodness, 739,000, there we go, I'm gonna get it, $250. Woo. You can tell I don't deal with that amount of money on a very frequent basis, but anyway, so that's your yearly overhead. Okay, that's all it is. It's just addition and subtraction. Okay, let's look at this next section. 609 is the markup. Okay, so markup is, we get that, the selling price basically minus the purchase cost. But sometimes you guys will see this in percentages. So let's look at just number one. Medication is a selling price of $56 and a cost of $45. Obviously, the markup there is going to be $11. Okay, that's not a big deal. Now, let me tell you this. There are some online. Okay, let's do the percentage of markup, the next section. Okay, so now this is saying a markup percentage is calculated by dividing the gross margin by the cost and then multiplying by 100 to figure out the percent. So look, let's just do number one. The medication has a selling price of $56 and a cost of $45. So what would be the markup percentage? It's kind of going backwards. But, so if we know it's $11 is the actual markup and the cost of the medicine is actually the $45. Okay, so we know then it's going to be 11 out of 45 equals X over 100 is what we're going to figure out. $24 there. Okay, so it's 24% markup. Let's work out number 3 and I'll check it in the back just to make sure I haven't done something crazy here. So number 3 says the medication has a selling price of $43.50 and a cost of $39.90. $43.50 minus $39.90. $3.60, so $3.60 out of our cost of $39.90 equals X over 100. Get 9%. So let's look at the answer in the back. Yep, we're right. Okay, so 9%. Okay, so that's the easiest way to do that. And you'll have to do that, I think, online. Like I said, you're going to have to mark things up. So let's kind of work this out backwards. Okay, so let's say you get a medication in stock and it costs $25. And the pharmacy says, okay, we're going to mark everything up by 20%. Okay, so $25 and we want to mark it up by 20%. That means we need to figure out what 20% of this is. So 20 over 100 equals X over 25, or you can just do times 0.2 if you want to, because it's put it into percent. But anyway, so 25 times 20. So that's going to be, well, it's going to be 5. 20 times 25 is 500. Divided by 100 is $5, which makes sense because $5 is definitely 20%. So that means, so your cost then is going to be your $25 plus the 5, which is 30. Okay, so that's, you'll see some that go that direction online. I just want you to know how to do those. Pretty straightforward there. Okay, discounts are markdowns. They're going to go just kind of the opposite of that. And you guys know discounts. You probably do them in your head at the store all the time. So let's say we've got a medicine that's $45, and we're going to mark it down 10%. Okay, all you do is you got to figure out your 10% of 45. So you can either do 45 times 0.1, or if you need to put it in that ratio format, you can do 10 over 100. That's going to be your 10%. It's x over 45, or it's going to be 450. Yeah. So you're going to do 450 is your discounted amount. So 4150 would be the cost. You'll do 45 minus the 450. Okay. So that is the discount, just the opposite. The other way you can do this is if you want, you can subtract, like if you were to have that $45 medicine and you're wanting to, okay, they're just going to pay 90% of it. They're going to take off 10%, so they're going to pay 90. So you could just do 45 times 0.9 to get your percent, and that would actually give you your cost in the end. Okay, but these are all, hopefully this is all just a review for you. Okay, look at gross profit on 613. It says the gross profit is the difference in sales price and the cost of the inventory with no other expenses built in. It's just the sales minus cost of inventory. So look at the example. If a pharmacy sales were $200,000 and its purchases were $175,000, then its gross profit would be $25,000. Okay, that's pretty simple. But now net income includes some of your other expenses. So your net income is what you really make. Okay, so you've got your sales minus your inventory plus your overhead. So it's really your sales minus that gross profit minus your overhead costs, minus your other costs that you have. So look at this example 15.6. So the pharmacy has a monthly sales of $425,600. I'm on page 615, by the way. Inventory purchases of $310,000, salaries and wages of $60,000, utilities $25,000, insurance of $11,000, and maintenance of $775,000. So the gross profit, okay, remember the gross profit is just minus the inventory. That's kind of like your basic, the money that you have to spend on what you need to spend it on. So it's going to be $425,600 minus your inventory costs, which are $310,000. Okay, so $115,600. That is your gross profit. Okay, now it says what's the markup rate for this one. I must have missed markup rate somewhere. Did I get that right? Oh, your markup rate is just that's that out of your amount. So it'd be the $115,600 out of the $310,000 equals X over 100. Because what they're saying is your inventory was what you paid for in inventory was $310,000, and $115,000 is what you made off of that. So that's why I'm getting this. So this is going to give you your markup, like your percentage, like we just talked about. $37.2% is what I got. I got 37.1. Okay. So now it says what's the overhead for the month? Well, that's just your extra costs. Okay, so that's your $60,000 plus your $2,500 plus the $1,100 plus the $775. That's going to give you $64,375. You just add those up, and then the net profit then is going to be your gross profit minus your overhead. So all of that's going to be, let me get you there. Okay, so I know these questions get wordy, and we'll go from there. We're not going to do insurance reimbursement. I think that's far beyond what you guys would be expected to do. Like I said, I did want to talk about capitation for just a second. All they do on here, a capitation fee is just a set fee that an insurance or a third-party payer pays the company. So if I'm the patient, I'm paying my insurance every month. They're going to pay $300 to the pharmacy every month for all of my medicines. This month, I may only need 2 medicines. They may only cost $100. Next month, I might need 5 medicines that may cost $500. They're going to pay the pharmacy the same amount, regardless of if I have a few medicines or a lot of medicines. So look at this example. All you do is you do your capitation fee minus the cost of the medicine. So look at example 15.9. Pharmacy accepts a capitation fee of $225 for a senior citizen who has multiple monthly standing prescriptions, most of which are available as generic. Okay, the prices are $9.50, $27, $65, and $42. The wholesale price is what that means. The medication cost is $143. So all they're going to do is they're going to take their $225 capitation fee and subtract it from the cost of the medicines that they got. Okay, and then they're going to get that $81. They're going to get a profit that month. Like it says, the next month, the person has a really bad sinus infection, and they have an extra $100, $115, $41.50 for pain medication. So they still get their regular medications as well. So that month, the company's going to get $225, but instead of needing only that $143 that month, they're going to actually need $285, like it says on here. So they're actually going to get a $60 loss that month for that particular patient. That's the way it goes. Some months you gain, some months you lose. So then total profit, they're saying for those 2 months, would be the $21.50. Not a whole lot of profit. That's all that's talking about. On the inventory management, like I said, we're not going to do any questions on that in here. I do want to look at this daily cash report real quick on 626 and 627. Because this is definitely a pharmacy technician type of job. So it says a daily duty in the pharmacy may be to prepare the daily cash or sales report to check the payments received and make sure the cash in your drawer is correct and all that kind of stuff. So it says this calculation is accomplished by balancing the cash drawer. Calculate this information. Opening the cash balance in the register drawer is needed. So you calculate the total cash received and checked and credit card receipts. Do that separate. You take out your discounts and your coupons and any other income, and then you figure that up. So look at the formula. Cash at the end of the day is just your opening balance. So let's say when you get to the pharmacy that morning, you open the cash register, there's already $100 in it. Okay, minus the receipts and checks and credit cards. You go get those receipts, add up your checks, get that amount, add up your credit card receipts, get that amount, subtract that. I'm sorry, opening cash balance, I missed something, plus the sales. Okay, so how much you sold total that day. Then you subtract the checks, and then you subtract the credit card balances, minus whatever else if you pulled out some petty cash to do something, you had some kind of discount or just whatever, take all that, and then what you have left over from that should equal the amount of cash that you have in your drawer. We used to have to do this when I worked at the bank. We balanced our drawer every day. And if your drawer didn't balance, it was an issue. Okay? So that's all they're doing right there. And that is it. It's just adding and subtracting. And that is it, you guys. This section's pretty easy. It's just you just kind of have to reason through it. And hopefully I explained at least some of the terminology. For this chapter, here's the numbers I want you guys to do. I want you to do number 1. I want you to do number 3, number 5, and number 7. And that's it. 1, 3, 5, and 7. That's all I want you to do for this chapter as far as the post-test goes. And then we are done with the math. I know you guys are tired of math. So, but this is a really important part of it. The math part is just really important. And I want you guys to be confident in that. And I'm sorry that that the other unit got my brain. But anyways, hopefully we've got it squared away now. And there we go, all done.